So I understand. Okay, you're going to college for long snapping. I think I've heard you say where, but just tell us where and why did you pick that school?
So I committed to Texas A&M last Friday as a preferred walk-on. I'm really excited. I love what Coach Fisher as a whole is bringing to the program. I think they're on the rise. I mean, obviously they just finished at number 4 in the country. I believe that was yesterday. And it's just the culture on the team. I mean, when I committed on Friday, I had multiple guys from the program that I've never even talked to. They reached out, texted me like, welcome aboard, glad you're an Aggie. And I'm just, it's a great culture. I love the school as a whole, Texas A&M as a whole. Both my parents went to Texas A&M, so I'll be going to my parents' alma mater. I've been going to A&M games since I was 1 year old, so it's the right place for me.
Can you see this leading to the NFL?
I would love for it to, but I gotta, like anything, that's gonna take a lot of hard work. So that means that I just gotta start working and keep working until that opportunity presents itself.
Last thing I wanted to ask you is you got a guy here locally, John Weeks. Have you ever had a chance to talk to him about what you do?
I have never actually talked to John Weeks. I follow him on Instagram, but I would love, if the opportunity presented itself, I would love to. I've talked to a couple guys from in the Houston area, one that have long snapped in the pros, but I've not talked to specifically John Weeks, but I would love to if I ever got the chance.
What was your dream position when you thought about football growing up?
When I was in middle school and stuff, my dream was to play defensive line. I remember growing up watching Myles Garrett play at A&M. He now plays for the Cleveland Browns, and that was my dream growing up. And then 7th, 8th grade, I realized that I probably wasn't going to be the next Myles Garrett. But my dad had always took up the opinion that you should be able to play as many sports and positions as you can. And he was a baseball player in high school, but he was like, you should try long snapping. You should, it'll be a great place. Thinking from a high school ball standpoint, thinking that it'd just be more opportunities for me to get on the field. I didn't want to do it at all. And finally, to be honest, just to make him happy, I was like, all right, Dad, I will try long snapping. And so I ended up trying it, and we're here now. I fell in love with it.
What does it take to become a top long snapper?
It takes a lot of work and dedication. A lot of people think that it's something, you just go out on 4th down and you can go snap a ball on a PAT field goal or punt, but it's a very meticulous thing. It's very form-based, and so if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not confident, it takes a lot of mental prep too, because there's some very high pressure situations in special teams. And as a specialist, that's what we have to be prepared for, those high pressure situations.
To be a great long snapper, do you feel like you got to be almost unnoticed on the field?
Completely. So there's a saying that we say as long snappers is if our name is never called on the loudspeaker or on the TV broadcast, that means we did a great job. I was actually listening when I committed on Friday. I was reading a Texags forum, and it was like All-American long snapper commits to Texas A&M as a PWO. And one of the guys one of the people on there said, "Welcome, Connor. We're really excited to have you at Texas A&M. I hope I never hear your name until senior day." I go, and it made me laugh. It's true.
You've gone to camps right across the nation to become better at this. What kind of discipline does it take to just sort of master exactly what you're doing?
It takes a lot of discipline. It's a very, like I said, it's a very meticulous thing, and you have to be very driven, very focused. In a non-COVID time, I'd be going to a different camp around the country, be it Dallas, Charlotte, Las Vegas. You're going somewhere around the country about every month. And so it's a 12-month, it's not like football season ends whenever we finish Stratford football. Well, then I'm in season for long snapping camp. So it's a real dedication.
Was it hard when that All-American game got canceled?
It was awful, for lack of a better terms. I went to Coach Rankin. We sat in his office. I cried. It was awful. I just remember I was crushed. It felt like my greatest achievement was taken away from me.
When you first got the call, though, that you were All-American, what did that feel like?
That was I didn't get a call. I was in Las Vegas at Chris Rubio's camp, and I won. And we basically did a charting test, and I won, and the top 6 guys based on the charting got to go into a bracket, and I ended up winning the bracket, and so I won it in a tournament style thing, and it was breathtaking. I didn't sleep much that night. I was so excited. We went out to dinner that night as a family, and it was I can't really describe the feeling. of excitement.
Yeah, that's almost got to be more special because a lot of guys probably just, they're picked because they see what they did or something like that, but you actually have to get into a competition. That's got to be the cool part of this.
It definitely was. It was an adrenaline rush for sure.
I understand you're 2 in your class. You're number 2. You help tutor kids, finalist for the Geico Man of the Year. Where do you get the discipline and the dedication that you have?
I can attribute a lot of my discipline and stuff to my dad and my grandpa, as well as my mom and just all my family members that have really taught me what it means to be driven, what it means to do something well if you're going to do it at all. And it's something I don't want to be the type of kid that's just maybe successful on the field or just successful in the classroom. I want to do it all. And so I'd like to do everything I can with 110%.